Hello. This is Jonathan again, and this is my third take trying to get this recording done correctly. So, my apologies for how long this has taken to get to you guys. We are working on the church PowerPoint presentation in our PowerPoint today, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is actually an order of service that we just used at my church, and so it's going to be very similar to what we do. We actually use a third-party program called Media Shout rather than doing it in PowerPoint, but if we did use PowerPoint, this is how you could do it. So let's start right off on the top. You will have all the files you need available in OneDrive. So you should have this folder that's called Church PowerPoint Resources. Didn't you like how I just did the fly in and fly out there? We're going to be using the content Word document as our base, and that one will be right here. And so this is going to be the order of the slides that we're putting in, and you'll also see some other text here. We've got the announcements, and then we've got the song here that's going to go at the end, and the words that are going to be put up on the screen. So we're going to start out with a title slide, and this is going to be for the Crown Him with Many Crowns. So I'm going to just type that in here. You can copy and paste if you want to. The subtitle is going to be the reference in the hymnal. I'm going to make this a little bit wider so it doesn't wrap. And then just recenter that. See how it snaps to center really nicely like that? I really like how PowerPoint does that. Kind of like Publisher, but a little bit nicer. And then we're going to insert a background for this, except this isn't going to be a full stretch background, so I'm just going to put a picture on it. So I'm going to go to Insert, and then Pictures, and then it's going to be this crown.gif. And then I'm going to put it over here in that bottom corner. And that's our Crown with Many Crowns slide. I'm going to hit Insert New Slide. Okay, now you'll notice the layout on this slide is defaulting to the Content with Title layout. But we don't want to use that for this. We want to use their title layout again, because we're just putting in another hymnal, and it's just going to be referencing the hymnal. So I'm going to right click on this slide, and I'm going to go to Layout, and then click Title Slide. There's a couple other ways to do that. When you're selected here on the Home tab, you can just use the Layout drop down, or when you're inserting a new slide, you can just use the drop down menu and then click Title Slide. So now I have the slides that I need here. The second one is the love of God, as you can see from our flying from the right content.docx. So I'm just going to type that in here real quick. And this is going to go here. Pretty symbol number 290. And for this, we're going to actually use a background image. So I'm going to right click in the white space here of this slide, and I'm going to hit Format Background. There are, again, a number of ways that you can do this. You can go right click on the slide in the slide deck and go to Format Background here. And I believe that you can do that through this Design tab and hit Format Background from there as well. But I'm just going to do it right clicking probably on something here, because I've been so used to right-clicking on stuff in old versions of PowerPoint that that's just kind of how I do it. Now in Office 2013, it brings up a sidebar. In 2010 and I think 2007, you're going to see a box that pops up. So it's not going to be this format background sidebar. It'll be a box that pops up, but it'll have the same kind of options. I'm going to go Picture or Texture Fill, and then Insert from File. And this one gets this little crown of thorns thing. And then this one is, oops, I did that on the wrong slide. I'm going to delete that slide. Do it again. Now you'll notice the background fill stays here, so I'm just going to use that. But because it's this sidebar, it'll stay up. I'm going to move this a little bit so that it lines up better. And again, you'll notice how it snaps to all the different stuff to make your life easy. now let's insert a new slide. We're going into the announcements now, as you can see from this content document. And so we're going to switch slide types. We're going to go to a title and content slide. And for this, we're going to do our first announcement, which is this men's workday. You can tell I'm on my bigger computer today, so I'm flying stuff in and out of the recording area here. We're going to copy this text here and put this in the content box, and then this men's workday is going to be in the title box. I'm going to copy that and then paste that in here. You'll notice that it automatically defaults to being a bullet point. That can be really helpful if you're doing like a bulleted list, if you're trying to present content with text or whatever. That works really good, but we're not going to use that here because we only have one thing. And then this is going to be men's workday, and I'm going to format the background on here. So if you're in 2007 or 2010, you'll have to right click and go to format background. In 2013, it'll just stick here, so you can do that. Insert from file, and this gets this rake and pitchfork image. So I'm going to insert that, and you'll see it's too big for the slide here. This is because it's a widescreen slide. You can tell the slide size, I believe that is set in your slideshow area, and it will happen in the setup slideshow. I think if I'm remembering this correctly, you can set which slideshow monitor you're using, and so if I'm using a different monitor or whatever, if it's not on automatic, you can use, then you can set your different slideshow resolutions. Normally for like a HD projector that's not a super duper HD projector, it's going to be this 1280 by 760, and that's 720p. I'm sorry, this 1280 by 720 is going to be 720p, and then full HD is going to be 1920 by 1080. So depending on what projector you have, normally most projectors are this 1024 768. So you can use that too, but we're just going to stick with the default for now. I'm just going to cancel that, but that's where you'd save that. We may change that for next week. I'm going to resize this real quick so that it fits better. Oh, and I was going to show you what I was doing. So in this format background window, I'm just going to change the offset here, and it'll just scale that. It looks a little squished, but it'll be fine. And I'll scale that here. I'm going to insert a new slide, and this is going to be the annual congregational meeting slide. And for the text for this, we're going to put in just the text from this other document here, and I'm just, whoops, I clicked the wrong button. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste that in here from my other monitor. And the background on this, again, if you're using an older version, right click and go to format background. And I'm going to go to file, and this gets this little siding picture here. Okay, we got one more slide for announcements. This slide is for the Awana theme. I'm going to call it Awana Blacklight Night. So you can either copy and paste Awana theme, or you can type in Awana Blacklight Night or whatever you want. And then just copy and paste the text for that. Again, I'm going to backspace this bulleted list thing. You can also turn that on and off through the Home tab. You can just uncheck the bulleted list thing. One cool thing I can't remember if I've ever shown you guys is this pop-up window here that lets you do the quick edit. So if I wanted to highlight something and change the font color, what you do is you highlight it, and then you move to the upper right side, and it'll just appear. And you can change stuff right there without having to move your mouse very far. Most people I know don't really use that, but it is a pretty cool feature if you get in the hang of it. So, little bonus point here. All right, let's set the background image for this. I'm gonna right click on the slide this time and go to format background. Now you can see part of that. It's actually popping out of the screen, I'm afraid. So it's this item. I'm going to just hit that over here. Picture texture fill from file, and this one gets this little light bulb background. Okay, and you can't read that text very well, so we're going to change that to white. I'm just going to do that right in that little pop-up box I just showed you. You have to move your mouse less. I'm going to change that so it'll fit better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we made it through the announcements, and we're going to go ahead and do the next hymn here. And this is Redeemed How I Love to Proclaim It. So let's insert a new slide and change the layout to title slide. I'm going to do that from up there this time. Alrighty. And this is going to get, I'll subtitle here. Let's see, what is that? That is Christian Life. Now, some of you may not know the heartaches of having multiple hymnals at your church, but we have to differentiate between which book it's in. So, switch books. And then, that was really off topic. I'm going to do a picture background. This one gets this Alive with Christ. It's going to actually download that real quick because I haven't opened that file on this computer yet. And this one, we're also going to do this text in white. I think it'll look just a little bit better to have it in white. We're just going to do that real quick. And then move this so it's up here, make it a little bit smaller, center it right about there. I'm going to move this onto that green bar and center it. Yeah. So we've got that one. This time let's do new slide, and this next one's going to be the scripture reading, so I want to go to title and content. And then I don't actually want to lay it out exactly like they have it here, so I'm going to drag these around. I'm going to put that one down there, I'm going to run this one straight up. So we're going to put the reference down beneath the scripture reading. So let's do that. Okay, and you can tab out to your favorite Bible software program and get your favorite Bible translation of the verse here. I'm going to just copy this from the other slideshow that I have open here. And this is in ESV, so it's going to be Genesis 11 ESV. And this is going to get that scroll background. So I'm going to do format background, picture or text, insert from file, and it's the testimony of the Holy Spirit. So I got a bunch of these off of a website that sold me a bunch of random patterns of stuff. So now notice that as I change the size, it's going to automatically resize the text so it'll all fit in the box. It's just another one of those really cool PowerPoint features. Now, I really want that to be the bigger size, but not really. There. That looks much better. Like that. There. Okay. Now, next one again. I'm going to do new slide. Let's do it from up here. And change the layout to title slide. Another hymn. It's going to be 'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus. This is another one that's almost wrapping, so I'm going to adjust that a little bit. This is going to be Christian Life hymnal again. Number 414. Okay, format background, picture text fill from file, and this one I have this lovely picture of a flower here. This one's actually a little bit bigger of a file because it's one that I took with our camera, and so it's the actual real size and not some other size. But it looks good. This gets white text, so highlight it and do that. And then we'll move this up here. Okay, this is also a text box, so I can still do all the text boxy stuff from the format. So if I want this to stay on the top, I was thinking I could do that from here, but I don't see it immediately. That must be a publisher thing. I'll just move it around a little bit. So there we have that. Okay, so that's our next slide. And we're getting close to the end. Okay, next slide is going to be another title slide. So let's switch this layout title slide. This is for the message, and normally he'll actually send me a PowerPoint presentation that I'll import here. But for now, we're just going to put this in. And set the format background again. And we're going to use this nice fall picture for that, which is also going to have to download real quick. There we go. Right, now we've got just a few items left. There was communion last week, so I'm going to insert a new slide for that. And this is going to be a new title slide again. So I'm going to change the layout to title slide. See if I can spell. And then make that a little bit smaller so that that wraps correctly. And for the background, we're going to use the same thorny crown thing. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, now this is an interesting note because this still says click to add subtitle. But when you actually look at the presentation here, like you could do if you go and look over here on this slide there, it doesn't show that at all. So that's just something to keep in mind, that you don't always have to fill in these to make it not show. Alright, got a few more slides to do. Now we're getting into the chorus, and what we're going to do, we're going to type in Our God Reigns, and then our text we're just going to copy and paste real quick from that Word document down at the bottom. So this is going to be the first verse. I just copied in there. Set the background, format background. And I'm going to use this kind of picture of the church here. Alright. I'm going to actually make the font size a little bit bigger on this because people are actually going to have to sing it. So I'm just going to increment the font size a couple of times. These are the increment, decrement, or de-increment for the font size. And now I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this after adding a line here. I'm going to go ahead and stick the chorus, because the chorus is only a couple of lines. I'm going to just stick it on the end of this. I'm going to use our right-click, keep text only formatting. And then I want these to be slightly closer together. If you hold down the Shift key when you're hitting Enter, it will add a line break without a paragraph break, which basically means, see how there's a little bit more space right here than there is right here? And that'll just set that apart a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this slide, and we're going to paste in verse 2. So again, I'm just going to go in here and hit paste and backspace that. I'm going to right click here again, I'm going to duplicate slide again, and then put in verse 3. And let's do it up here this time to get rid of the bullets. Alright, we are on to our last slide. Usually I do a thank you for coming slide. So let's insert one more slide. Let's do a blank slide this time. Let's do a new slide and let's change this to layout blank. Now this is just like a publisher sheet. I can't type text on here without adding a text box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the background, and this is going to be, I'm going to use this picture of our church here, and it's going to have to download it again. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little text box up in this corner. So I'm just going to click, you can click this button, which is a shortcut to text box. You can go to insert text box, either way works. I'm just going to click and drag to draw a text box over here, and this text box is going to say, come on, thank you for coming. And let's make that bigger. I'm just going to increment that here. That's pretty good. Do it like that. Stick it over here. Alright. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, or I should say lady and gentlemen, is our slideshow for this week. So I'm going to apologize for the delay on that. Like I said, it took me 3 tries to get this video done, so hopefully only 3 tries. I hope this saves okay. So there I have it. And the actual slideshow is available in OneDrive if you want to take a look and see what I did. So that's all for today. See you guys on Monday.